Hello and welcome back. In part two, we're going to continue our discussion on um, communication and trust versus mistrust, attachment, right? Chapter 5, we've been discussing how babies interact with the world or whatnot. But we're going to move into this section where we're talking about joy and play, right? Let's talk about parallel play, right? This is when each child plays alone but is interested in what other is doing. Then we have simple social play, where toddlers engage in similar activities and talk and smile at each other. This begins at 15 and 18 months. Cooperative play, where play takes on a distinct theme, or children play in roles, right? This begins around age 2. Example of this is like having when kids have tea parties, or they have certain toys that they play with and they're engaging with as if they're reacting out a either a scene or using their imagination, right? So make believe progresses from the concrete to abstract, right? Well, objects might a child use to play school, right? The benefits of make believe play: it promotes cognitive development, allows students to explore topics that frighten them, and have imaginary friends is linked to the child being more social. Preschoolers can choose solitary play, such as coloring, doing puzzles, playing with Legos. There's two types of unhealthy solitary play. This is wandering aimlessly, going from one activity to the next, hovering, watching children play but not engaging with them, right? Children may need more professional help with these two types of play. At ages 2 to 3 years of age, children prefer to play with same-sex peers. Children do not do this on their own spontaneously. They resist playing with members of the opposite sex. Choose to play with members of the same sex, even gender neutral activities such as puzzles and those kind of types of things. So, why do children prefer to play with their same-sex peers? Well, boys and girls style play different. Boys prefer competition. Girls prefer cooperation. Girls do not readily influence boys during play. Girls typically use enabling actions to support interaction. Boys use construction actions to create competition. Playing and learning from the same sex versus gender differences. Ways that parents become involved in children's play: act as a playmate, set social activities and visits, coach children to acquire conflict resolution and decision making skills. Coaching must be constructive for children, right? As also as act as mediators when children have conflict. Pro-social behavior, behavior that benefits another person. Cooperation and altruism are certain types, right? This begins at 18 months. The behavior becomes more advanced as children learn more about others' needs. Children are more likely to engage in altruistic behavior as they get older and less egocentric. Remember, egocentric is the word means the world revolves around me in those moments. Children are more likely to respond if they have empathy for another. Certain settings impact altruistic behavior, like feelings of responsibility, feelings of competence, mood, and cost of altruism. So genes affect pro-social behavior by influencing temperament. Children who can't regulate emotions may help less to upset themselves to others. Shy children are less likely to help, especially those they don't know with, right? Um, know how to help, but too inhibited to do so in those situations. Parents can influence autism. Modeling is very important. Children are likely to imitate pro-social behavior, so parents should model the behaviors that they want the child to demonstrate. Disciplinary practices: being warm, supportive parents who provide constructive feedback are more likely to have pro-social children. Parents who can give children opportunities to behave pro-socially. Factors contributing to child's pro-social behavior. Skills are very important, right? Skills help perspective taking and empathy. Situational influences are very important. because you get feelings of responsibility, feelings of competence, mood, cost of altruism. Heredity, temperament becomes very important. And parents influencing, modeling, discipline, and opportunities that they provide the child. Social role, set up cultural guidelines to show how a person to persons to behave. Children learn to about roles associated with gender beginning in infancy. Children begin to identify as a boy or a girl at the same time as they learning gender roles. Gender stereotypes, beliefs and images about males and females that may or may not be true. Knowing a person's gender leads to making inference about behavior and personality. By 18 months, children show a preference for gender stereotype toys, like trucks for boys and dolls for girls, as an example. Many gender stereotypes are not true, but some actually differences between males and females do exist, like verbal ability. Girls generally have greater verbal ability from toddler years through high school. Mathematics. Males only have a slight advantage in countries with a gender neutral approach. And spatial abilities. Males have a better spatial ability in infancy than females. Social influences. Girls are more likely to listen to adults' directions and agree with a group of decisions. Aggressions. Boys show more physical aggression beginning at 17 months. Girls engage in relational aggression, hurting others by damaging their relationship with peers. Emotional sensitivity. Girls are better in this area, and their emotions are in understanding and interpreting the emotions of others. Children learn gender roles from the parents and the world around them. Parents can encourage gender-related behavior in their children. Encourage by encouraging to play with dolls and boys to play with footballs and whatnot. Those things that again encourage certain gender roles. Fathers tend to respond to children based on their gender stereotypes. Mothers are more likely to focus on the child's needs in those moments. Children tend to engage in more gender-related behavior when parents have traditional views of gender. Same-sex play with peers also strengthens different gender differences. Children begin to identify with one group and form a gender identity, right? A sense of being a male or a female. A full understanding of gender emerges in 3 steps. Children can label themselves as a boy or girl at age 2 or 3. Preschoolers begin to understand that boys will become men and girls will become women. And by ages 4 to 7, children understand that one can change gender based on clothes they do and different activities that they do. Biology contributes to gender roles and gender identity. Men and women evolved to adapt to gender roles. Men needed to be aggressive to hunt food, and gender roles has been shown to be there um, in certain studies. How has less emphasis on traditional gender roles influenced American culture? Children who grow up without gender stereotypes show some different beliefs and behaviors. Still have same-sex friends and enjoy sex-type activities like other children. They show few stereotypes regarding occupations and objects. This is an example of men and women are equally likely to use an ironing board, right? So again, this stuff is supported by this chapter is supported by research. There's a lot of information provided in this chapter or whatnot, and it's really important to understand those models as we discuss child development.